How to make mini scarf. Our mini scarf DIY kit comes with merino wool yarn, knitting needles, and a pattern. Make a slip knot first, then cast on some stitches. We're going to cast on 5. When you're casting on, don't pull the yarn too tight. You want to make sure there's some space there so you can knit comfortably. Flip it. Make sure your tail end is on the left side and your working yarn is on the right side. We are going to insert the needle from left to right, in, again, from left to right, in. Take working yarn and wrap it around the needle toward you. Make sure you do it in the right direction. Pull it through the loop all the way like this and take it off the needle. Again, make sure you go from left to right, in, yarn over, pull it through that loop and take it off. So you can see it's a 4-step process, and it's good to repeat these steps in your head until you get used to them. From left to right, in step 1, yarn over step 2, pull it through the loop step 3, pull it all the way like that and take it off the needle step 4. This is the wrong direction. Do not do that. From left to right, in, yarn over, pull it through the loop and take it off the needle. Again, repeat. In, yarn over, pull it through the loop and take it off the needle. We've just knitted our first row. At this point, we highly recommend counting the stitches. We started with 5. You want to make sure you're still at 5. So 5 loops on the needle. You flip the needle. We're going to start knitting our next row. And count again. We're still at 5. So insert the needle from left to right. Do not use the short end. Always work with so if you make sure you use the long end, wrap it around the needle, pull it through and take it off. Again, in. So do not go under. That's the different stitch. You see that loop on the needle? Make sure you go right that way, like right underneath it. Pull it through and take it off. From left side of the stitch toward the right. In, yarn over, pull it through and take it off. From left to right. In, this is wrong, that is wrong, this is wrong, that is wrong also. This is the only place to insert the needle. Yarn over, pull it through the loop and take it off. From left to right, in, yarn over, pull it through the loop and take it off the needle. Count the stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flip it over. So if accidentally your yarn goes this way, and if you count, you're now at 6 stitches. So you know you made a mistake somewhere because you had 5 and now you have 6. So in this case, it's easy to see where the mistake is. So you just rearrange. Make sure you're at 5. Make sure everything looks nice and even. All stitches look the same. And we keep knitting. This is wrong. That is wrong. Insert from left to right. Keep the needles perpendicular to each other. Yarn over. That's wrong direction. No. In. Wrap the yarn around towards you. Pull it through the loop and take it off the needle. In. Yarn over. Pull it through and take it off. In. So this is not really good either. Don't try to knit with just your tips. You insert the needle all the way in, yarn over. When you take it off the needle again, don't be tempted by doing it with the tip. You have to make sure that you insert the needle all the way in. The problem with knitting using your tips is that the diameter of the needle is smaller, and that will make your stitches really tight. And you want to have your tension as even as possible. Count the stitches. Count the stitches again. Make sure everything looks nice and even, and you're ready to go. You keep knitting until you have only a little bit of yarn left over, maybe about a yard. So we're going to measure to make sure that we have enough to cast off. Casting off is finishing the project. So you need to have about 3, maybe 3.5 times the width of your scarf. So just count, measure it out and count, and then you just are going to have a little tail left over. So this is how cast off works. There are several different methods. This is the easiest one. So you knit first 2 stitches the same way you normally knit. Then you take that first stitch and pull it over the second one. And just pull the yarn a little bit extra. When you're casting off, you want to do it a little bit loose. Then you knit 1 stitch again. So you're back to having 2 stitches on the right needle. And you do the same thing. You pull the first stitch over the second one. And again, same thing. Knit 1, take that first stitch and pull it over the one next to it. Make sure you're doing it a little bit loose. So you always want to cast off more loosely. When you're down to your last stitch, first you're going to just double check that your cast off and your cast on are more or less same tension so that the scarf looks nice and even. And then you take the tail end and you thread it through that last loop. So this way you have a secure connection. You only need about 2-3 inches of yarn, so you can cut the rest of it off. And now we are going to weave in that end. So basically we're just hiding it in between the stitches. So you're just going to go in and out and hiding that little tail in between the stitches. You can go across, you can go sideways. It doesn't matter that much. And then you just tuck it in. And this way you don't see the tail. And you do the same thing for the tail from the beginning of the scarf. And that's it, you're done.